Silence isn't weakness, it's preparation. People often mistake quietness for fear, stillness for defeat, and calm for surrender. But silence has always been the most underestimated form of strength. It's in silence that thoughts sharpen, emotions settle, and plans begin to take shape. When someone chooses not to react immediately, it doesn't mean they have accepted defeat, it means they're observing, learning, and calculating every move with precision. The loudest person in the room often seeks validation, the quiet one already knows what must be done. Silence is the workshop of resilience, a space where anger turns into clarity and pain transforms into power. Those who remain silent during chaos are not powerless, they are the ones who understand that timing is everything. They know that reacting out of emotion can destroy what patience could have conquered. When life strikes unfairly, when betrayal burns, or when humiliation stings, silence becomes the shield that guards dignity and focus. It's not about pretending that things don't hurt, it's about refusing to let emotions dictate the next move. Every second of silence is a moment of strategy, a quiet gathering of strength that others can't see. There's a kind of intelligence in silence that noise can never achieve. When people talk too much, they reveal their intentions. When they rush to act, they expose their weaknesses. But the one who stays quiet, who listens more than they speak, becomes unpredictable. Silence becomes their power, and unpredictability becomes their weapon. In the world of revenge, patience born from silence can dismantle arrogance. The ones who underestimate a silent person rarely see what's coming because they're too busy celebrating what they think is victory. Every story of strength has a chapter of silence. Think about every betrayal that could have led to an outburst but didn't, every insult that could have triggered rage but instead was met with stillness. Those moments of restraint are the foundation of ultimate control. People forget that silence is active, it's not emptiness, it's construction. It's the process of gathering thoughts, aligning emotions, and sharpening focus for the moment when action will matter most. The mind of a silent person doesn't rest, it plans. It observes the smallest details, the shifts in behavior, the cracks in masks. And when the time comes, it uses that knowledge with precision. Silence also protects from regret. Words spoken in anger can't be taken back, and actions done in haste often destroy the justice one seeks. When someone chooses silence, they're not running away, they're creating space for wisdom to step in. In silence, they can see the situation clearly, understand motives, and plan a response that not only addresses the wrong but also leaves a mark that can't be erased. The strength of silence lies in its discipline. It demands control over impulses, mastery over pride, and trust in one's ability to act when the right moment comes. Those who live in constant noise believe that silence equals weakness because they fear their own thoughts. But those who embrace silence are never afraid of themselves. They face every emotion internally, rage, sadness, disappointment, and transform them into power. They know that revenge fueled by raw anger fades quickly, but revenge born from calculated silence endures. The silent one studies patterns, learns weaknesses, and builds strength quietly until the perfect opportunity arises. When they finally act, it's not out of vengeance alone, it's a statement that every second of silence was a step toward this moment. In silence, clarity blooms. It's the time when illusions fall apart, and truth becomes visible. Betrayal that once blinded with emotion begins to make sense. The motives of others become clearer, the lessons sharper. Silence doesn't numb the pain, it refines it. It teaches endurance, patience, and self-mastery. Every tear held back, every response swallowed, every night spent in quiet reflection, all of it becomes fuel. While others waste their energy explaining themselves or fighting useless battles, the silent one focuses on evolving. They don't chase validation or demand understanding, they know that time and results will speak louder than words ever could. There's also a quiet dignity in silence that no act of aggression can match. It carries the strength of someone who doesn't need to prove their worth to anyone. When others mock or doubt them, they stay unmoved, because they understand that truth doesn't need defense, it only needs time. Silence teaches that revenge isn't always about destruction, sometimes it's about elevation. Rising above, becoming better, and letting success or self-mastery serve as the ultimate answer to betrayal. That kind of revenge can only come from someone who has learned to endure without reacting, who has turned silence into the strongest form of self-control. Even in the most painful moments, silence becomes a sanctuary. It's where the noise of the world fades, and the voice within becomes clear. It's where emotions are acknowledged but not allowed to rule. It's where plans are born, unspoken and unseen. Silence allows a person to think several steps ahead while others are still reacting to the present. It's the invisible ground where victory begins. The one who waits in silence. Every betrayal fuels transformation. There's a unique kind of fire that betrayal ignites within a person, a burn that doesn't just destroy, but reshapes. When someone you trust turns against you, when loyalty is traded for selfish gain, it leaves a wound that words can't describe. But within that wound, something powerful begins to form. Pain becomes a sculptor, carving away weakness, pride, and illusion until all that's left is truth. The truth about who you are, who they were, and what you're capable of becoming. Betrayal doesn't just break you, it forces you to rebuild yourself in a way that no comfort ever could. Every act of betrayal is a lesson disguised as heartbreak. It shows you the limits of trust, the weight of misplaced faith, and the importance of boundaries. It teaches you that not everyone deserves access to your heart, and that kindness without caution can be an invitation to pain. Yet, while betrayal exposes darkness in others, it also awakens light in you. It teaches resilience, sharpens perception, and ignites a kind of inner evolution that only pain can trigger. The person you become after betrayal is no longer naive. They see through lies, sense hidden motives, and carry a strength that silence and suffering have refined. Transformation begins quietly. At first, betrayal leaves confusion, a storm of disbelief and anger that clouds the mind. You replay moments, trying to understand how something so trusted could turn so cruel. But with time, those moments shift from pain to purpose. You begin to see the betrayal as the moment everything changed, the point where your old self died and your new self began to form. That realization is not immediate, it's born through nights of reflection, through tears that cleanse the illusions, through questions that no longer need answers. Eventually, you stop asking why me, and start saying watch me. The greatest transformations often come from the deepest wounds. People rarely change when they're comfortable, promises, and to find peace in solitude rather than in approval. Transformation after betrayal also changes how you see others. You begin to recognize truth behind smiles, sincerity behind words, and loyalty behind silence. You start to understand that betrayal says more about them than it ever did about you. Their deceit becomes their reflection, not your definition. This understanding frees you from bitterness, because you no longer seek revenge to prove your value, you simply become too evolved to be affected by their actions. The pain they caused becomes your catalyst, not your cage. Betrayal also strips away the superficial layers of identity. You stop trying to be the person others expect and start becoming the person you were meant to be. It exposes your vulnerabilities and forces you to confront them, one by one. It makes you face your own flaws, your patterns of trust, your blind spots. In doing so, it gives you a new kind of clarity, a sense of awareness that feels like rebirth. You no longer see the world in the same way, your priorities change, your focus sharpens, and your understanding of people deepens. What once would have hurt you now only teaches you. Every betrayal leaves a mark, but not all marks are scars, some are symbols of growth. The same pain that once broke your heart can later open your mind. The silence that followed betrayal becomes the ground where transformation roots itself. You learn that losing people who hurt you isn't loss, it's release. You understand that pain doesn't destroy, it rebuilds with stronger foundations. And with every step forward, you carry the lesson that betrayal doesn't end your story, it redirects it. It takes you away from what wasn't real and toward what's authentic. The process of transformation isn't easy. It demands patience, self-reflection, and the courage to keep moving when you'd rather give up. It means facing the mirror when it shows parts of you you'd rather not see. It means forgiving not because they deserve it, but because you deserve peace. It means realizing that betrayal isn't just about what they did, it's about what it awakens in you. You begin to understand that every betrayal, no matter how cruel, serves a hidden purpose. to awaken the version of you that could never exist in comfort or illusion. Through transformation, betrayal loses its power. It becomes a memory, not a wound, a lesson, not a chain. The pain that once controlled you becomes your teacher, guiding you toward self-mastery. You stop trying to erase the past because you realize it shaped you into someone wiser, stronger, and more intentional. Transformation doesn't happen despite betrayal, it happens because of it. Every tear shed in silence, every moment spent alone, every time you chose healing over hatred, all of it becomes the reason you rise differently than before. Strength is best revealed, not declared. True strength doesn't announce itself with words or noise, it shows in silence, in action, in the calmness of someone who doesn't need to prove anything. People who are truly strong rarely talk about being strong, they simply are. Their power is not in what they say but in how they respond when everything around them falls apart. Strength reveals itself in moments of chaos, in times when life tests every limit, and in decisions made quietly while the world watches and doubts. It's not a display for others, it's a dialogue between you and yourself, a constant reminder that resilience needs no audience. Strength is invisible when everything is easy. It only shows its face when life becomes heavy, when betrayal, loss, or failure press against your chest like a weight you can't escape. That's when your true character steps forward. It's not about. The world often confuses arrogance for strength. Loud confidence, public defiance, and exaggerated pride are mistaken for power, but they're just masks for insecurity. Real strength is subtle. It's in the person who keeps going after everyone else has given up. It's in the woman who smiles through heartbreak, in the man who rebuilds after loss, in the soul that still chooses compassion even after being betrayed. These are not grand gestures, they are quiet victories, small acts of endurance that reveal strength in its purest form. Strength also reveals itself in restraint. It's easy to react, to shout back, to fight every battle that comes your way. But the strong know that not every conflict deserves attention. Sometimes walking away is harder than staying, sometimes silence speaks louder than retaliation. It takes courage to choose peace over pride, wisdom over impulse, and patience over revenge. That is the kind of strength that builds empires, not of power, but of dignity. The strongest people are not the ones who win every argument but the ones who don't need to prove they're right. Every person carries an unseen story that defines their strength. Behind calm eyes may lie years of struggle, behind every smile a history of pain. Strength isn't just about surviving what happens, it's about how you carry what you've survived. The way someone wakes up after nights of tears, the way they still choose to trust after betrayal, the way they keep faith after everything has gone wrong, that's strength. It's not loud, but it's powerful. It doesn't ask for attention, yet it demands respect. Strength is not perfection, it's endurance. It's the ability to fall and rise, to fail and still continue. The strongest people are not those who never break, they're the ones who break, shatter, and rebuild themselves piece by piece. Every scar on their heart tells a story of a battle fought and survived. The world may never know the nights they cried in silence, the days they carried pain behind a calm face, or the moments they almost gave up but didn't. Strength doesn't live in their words, it lives in their persistence. There's also strength in vulnerability. Society teaches that showing emotion is weakness, but the truth is, facing your emotions is one of the hardest things to do. It takes courage to admit pain, to confront fear, and to accept loss without losing yourself. Pretending to be unbothered isn't strength, it's avoidance. True strength is acknowledging what hurts but not letting it define you. It's standing in your truth without needing approval. It's being honest about your wounds while still believing in healing. The strongest hearts are the ones that remain open even after being broken. Strength is revealed through consistency. Anyone can be brave for a moment, but it takes real power to keep showing up every day when no one's watching. To keep working when the results are invisible, to keep believing when nothing goes as planned, to keep fighting when the world feels against you, that's strength. It's not about sudden bursts of courage but about steady endurance, a quiet rhythm of persistence that doesn't fade with time. The strongest people are often ordinary in appearance but extraordinary in resilience. Strength also manifests in forgiveness. Not the kind that excuses others, but the kind that frees yourself. Holding on to hate feels powerful, but it drains the soul. Letting go, on the other hand, requires immense inner stability. It's a decision to rise above what tried to break you, to value your peace more than your pride. Forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting, it means choosing to no longer be controlled by what happened. That level of emotional mastery is the truest form of strength, a kind that cannot be taught, only earned through experience. The revelation of strength often surprises even the person who holds it. You don't realize how strong you are until you're forced to be. It's only when the ground collapses that you discover you can stand without it. Strength hides in every human heart, waiting for a moment of darkness to emerge. It doesn't need applause or recognition, it only needs truth. It's the silent force that turns pain into wisdom, loss into growth, and endings into beginnings. Those who truly possess it don't talk about being strong, they live it, every day, in every quiet decision to keep going. Revenge is justice with precision. It is not blind anger, rash retaliation, or impulsive reaction. True revenge is a careful, calculated response, crafted with patience and foresight. It is the art of righting wrongs with purpose, ensuring that every action has impact, every move is deliberate, and every outcome serves a meaningful result. While anger may demand immediate action, precision requires waiting, observing, and understanding the full scope of the situation. It transforms raw emotion into strategic power, turning what could be chaos into a demonstration of control. In this way, revenge becomes less about satisfying ego and more about asserting justice in its most effective form. Many mistake revenge for impulsivity. Movies and stories often portray it as immediate, explosive, and visible. But real revenge is far subtler. It is about recognizing Revenge with precision requires clarity of mind. To act impulsively is to let emotion dictate outcomes, but acting strategically demands full awareness. It requires understanding not only what has been done but why it was done, the patterns of behavior that led to the wrongdoing, and the vulnerabilities of those responsible. Precision revenge studies motives, predicts reactions, and formulates plans that align with the intended purpose. It does not seek mere retaliation, it seeks the restoration of balance, the establishment of consequence, and the demonstration that actions have weight. Patience is a critical element in revenge with precision. There is power in waiting, in allowing events to unfold so that every action taken carries maximum effect. When someone underestimates patience, they misjudge the potential for impact. A hasty act may be noticed and countered, but a carefully timed response catches the target unprepared. Precision transforms revenge from a fleeting satisfaction into a lasting statement. It ensures that when the moment comes, the outcome is undeniable and the message clear. Disregard for justice comes with a consequence. Observation is another key component. Precision revenge is rooted in awareness and intelligence. Watching, listening, and understanding behavior patterns allow one to identify the perfect moment to act. It is not enough to simply be angry. One must know the target, their habits, their routines, and their weaknesses. This knowledge becomes a weapon in itself, shaping the timing, the method, and the impact of the response. The more carefully one observes, the more effective the action becomes. Every subtle detail contributes to a plan that is foolproof and unavoidable. Revenge with precision also relies on control over emotion. Anger and frustration are natural responses to betrayal, harm, or injustice, but letting them guide action leads to mistakes. Precision requires mastery over feelings, turning what could be destructive energy into strategic fuel. It is the ability to feel deeply without acting hastily, to acknowledge pain while maintaining focus, and to channel intensity into a form that produces deliberate consequences. Emotional control ensures that revenge is calculated, meaningful, and ultimately effective. Timing is everything in revenge with precision. Acting too soon or too late can diminish the impact or even backfire entirely. Precision relies on choosing the exact moment when the target is least prepared, when the action has the most profound effect, and when the message will resonate fully. This requires patience, planning, and an understanding of cause and effect. Every move is deliberate, every decision weighed, and every risk assessed. The difference between a revenge that fails and one that succeeds often lies entirely in the timing. Precision also demands creativity. True revenge is not merely replicating harm, it is crafting a response that mirrors the offense in a way that is strategic and impactful. It transforms injustice into a lesson, teaches accountability, and demonstrates awareness of the circumstances. Creativity ensures that the act of revenge is not predictable or easily countered. It allows the person seeking justice to design a plan that is as unexpected as it is effective, leaving a mark that lingers beyond the immediate moment. Strategic revenge respects boundaries. It understands the difference between justice and cruelty, between consequence and excess. Precision ensures that the response addresses the wrongdoing without collateral damage that diminishes the integrity of the act. It's about balance, ensuring the target faces the results of their actions without compromising the moral or ethic. Revenge with precision transforms the seeker. The process of planning, observing, and executing with care strengthens patience, sharpens the mind, and hones judgment. It teaches discipline and resilience, turning anger into clarity and pain into purpose. In this way, revenge is not just about correcting a wrong, it is also about personal growth. It demonstrates that strength is measured not by brute force but by the ability to respond with intelligence, strategy, and unwavering focus. Every act of revenge carried out with precision sends a clear message. It communicates that actions have consequences, that deception and betrayal will not go unnoticed, and that strength lies in careful, deliberate action rather than impulsive retaliation. Precision elevates revenge from a personal vendetta to a demonstration of mastery over circumstance. It ensures that every step taken is purposeful, every decision calculated, and every outcome impactful. By combining patience, observation, control, timing, creativity, and discipline, revenge with precision becomes an art form. It turns a moment of injustice into a carefully orchestrated response that leaves a lasting impression. It demonstrates that true power does not require shouting or aggression, it requires intelligence, strategy, and the ability to act when the moment is right. The strongest, most effective revenge is not the loudest, it is the one that lands with undeniable clarity, leaving no question about who holds the advantage and who underestimated the consequences of their actions. Rise without warning, strike with purpose. This principle is the essence of transformation from weakness into unstoppable force. Life often measures strength by what is visible, by the loudest voices, the boldest actions, and the most immediate reactions. But true power doesn't announce itself before it arrives. It gathers silently, it grows unseen, and it strikes when the moment is most effective. Rising without warning is not about chaos or impulsivity, it is about preparation, timing, and the awareness that the element of surprise is one of the greatest advantages a person can possess. Those who underestimate patience, who measure weakness by silence or stillness, are blindsided by the force they never anticipated. To rise without warning requires patience. It is the ability to endure hardship, humiliation, and betrayal without exposing the inner workings of one's mind. It's the quiet accumulation of skills, knowledge, and resilience while the world assumes defeat has occurred. Every insult ignored, every slight endured, and every setback faced becomes a step toward unseen growth. People mistake patience for weakness because it lacks immediate display, but in reality, it is the foundation of unstoppable power. Patience is the quiet forge in which determination and strategy are sharpened until they are ready to act decisively. Striking with purpose requires clarity. It is not enough to simply react, action must have intention, direction, and focus. A strike born of frustration or vengeance often fails to achieve its desired outcome. But a strike with purpose is precise, deliberate, and effective. It comes from a place of understanding, planning, and calculation. When someone rises without warning and strikes with purpose, they combine the element of surprise with the precision of strategy. This duality magnifies impact because it catches opponents off guard and leaves no room for counteraction. Every action taken is a reflection of thought, experience, and control. Rising without warning also requires emotional mastery. Many fail because they allow emotions to dictate timing, strategy, or intensity. Frustration, anger, and desperation often lead to predictable or poorly executed responses. True power emerges when emotions are acknowledged, managed, and transformed into focused energy. This allows the individual to move decisively, strike with precision, and achieve the maximum possible outcome. Emotional control ensures that action is not wasted and that energy is channeled into what truly matters. The element of surprise amplifies impact. When someone strikes without warning, it disrupts expectations, breaks patterns, and leaves those who doubted them disoriented. Underestimation becomes a tool. Those who were once indifferent or dismissive are forced to confront the reality of power they ignored. Surprise is a force multiplier, making every action more effective than if it had been anticipated. It is the combination of patience, preparation, and secrecy that allows a single moment to redefine perception and shift the balance of power entirely. Striking with purpose also requires a sense of justice and intention. Random or careless strikes may satisfy immediate desire, but they rarely produce meaningful results. Purpose ensures that every move contributes to a larger goal, whether that goal is personal growth, the restoration of dignity, or the righting of wrongs. Purpose gives weight to action, transforming it from reaction into a statement. It is the difference between chaos and order, between impulsivity and control. A strike with purpose carries with it a message, calculated, deliberate, and undeniable. Consistency and discipline are integral to rising without warning. Growth cannot occur overnight, and preparation cannot happen without effort. Each day spent learning, observing, and strengthening contributes to the eventual moment of impact. Discipline ensures that one remains on course, even when progress is unseen or when setbacks tempt retreat. Rising silently requires a steadfast commitment to self-improvement and a willingness to endure discomfort without seeking recognition. Every small victory along the way compounds, creating momentum that makes the eventual strike inevitable. Resilience is also part of this principle. Rising without warning means enduring failure, criticism, and doubt without revealing vulnerability. It is the capacity to absorb challenges, adapt, and maintain forward motion while the world remains unaware of the internal growth taking place. Resilience allows the individual to emerge stronger after each encounter, ready to strike with renewed strength and heightened clarity. Without resilience, preparation and patience can falter, and the moment of impact may never arrive. Secrecy is essential. Those who reveal intentions too early often face opposition before they are ready, losing the advantage of surprise and strategic control. Silence conceals strength, allowing for the accumulation of skills, knowledge, and insight without interference. It prevents others from anticipating moves, giving the rising individual the opportunity to act when conditions are optimal. A carefully timed emergence from silence can redefine perception, overturn assumptions, and assert dominance in ways that noise or premature display never could. Finally, rising without warning and striking with purpose is transformative. It changes not only the situation but also the individual. Every challenge overcome in silence, every plan executed with precision, and every successful strike reinforces confidence, sharpens judgment, and strengthens character. The process C. Let your comeback speak louder than your pain. Pain is a force that can either break or transform, and those who choose the path of a comeback understand that suffering is not the end of the story, it is the prelude to a greater chapter. When people hurt us, betray us, or underestimate us, the initial response is often confusion, anger, or despair. These are natural reactions, but they are only the beginning. A true comeback takes the energy generated by pain and channels it into action, growth, and undeniable results. It is not about words, complaints, or visible retaliation, it is about creating outcomes so powerful that they leave no doubt about resilience and strength. Pain often silences people, making them question their worth, abilities, and future. Those who rise understand that silence is not submission, it is preparation. During this period, every setback, insult, or betrayal becomes fuel. They analyze what went wrong, identify areas for improvement, and use adversity as a mirror reflecting both weaknesses and opportunities. The comeback is born in this silence, nurtured by reflection, and strengthened by determination. Pain becomes the teacher, and every lesson learned is a step closer to an outcome that will leave the world in awe. A comeback requires patience. Transformation does not occur overnight, and and the most effective responses take time to develop. Impulsive reactions often fail to achieve long-lasting results, while calculated actions executed after preparation have impact far beyond the moment. Those who are underestimated often find that their greatest strength lies in their ability to wait. They allow others to make assumptions, to misjudge their capabilities, and to believe that the moment of weakness will define them. Meanwhile, they work quietly, steadily, and relentlessly toward a future where their actions will speak volumes. Strategy is essential in a comeback. Random or poorly planned efforts rarely achieve the desired impact. Every decis. Resilience is the foundation of any successful comeback. Pain has the power to shake confidence, cloud judgment, and obscure vision. Resilience allows an individual to endure the difficulties, setbacks, and betrayals that accompany challenges. It provides the mental and emotional strength to persist when circumstances are harsh, when others doubt you, or when progress seems invisible. Each obstacle overcome reinforces determination and builds character, ensuring that the eventual comeback is not only possible but unstoppable. A comeback also relies on self-mastery. Those who allow anger, frustration, or bitterness to dictate their actions often sabotage themselves. True comebacks harness emotion without being controlled by it. Pain is acknowledged but not allowed to dictate the narrative. Frustration is converted into motivation, despair into determination, and doubt into focus. Self-mastery ensures that actions taken during a comeback are effective, deliberate, and aligned with long-term goals. It transforms chaos into order, vulnerability into strength, and suffering into fuel. Focus is another critical element. Distractions, criticisms, and external opinions can derail the path of a comeback. The strongest individuals learn to prioritize their vision over noise, to channel their energy into meaningful action, and to measure progress against personal standards rather than the expectations of others. Focus ensures that every effort contributes to the ultimate goal, that every decision is purposeful, and that the final outcome reflects the clarity and determination cultivated throughout the journey. Growth is inseparable from a true comeback. Pain alone does not create transformation. It is the intentional use of that pain to develop skills, strength, and insight that produces results. Each lesson learned, each failure endured, and each challenge overcome adds to the foundation of a stronger self. The comeback is both a demonstration and a culmination of growth. Timing amplifies the comeback. Acting too soon may diminish impact, while acting too late may allow opportunities to slip away. Those who plan a comeback understand the importance of waiting for the right moment, assessing readiness, and striking with precision. The timing ensures that the results are both effective and unmistakable. When the comeback is finally revealed, it cannot be ignored, discounted, or misunderstood. It communicates not only that the person has endured but that they have emerged stronger, wiser, and more formidable than anyone anticipated. Confidence grows naturally through the process of a comeback. Each step taken to transform pain into action reinforces self-belief. The individual learns that they are capable of overcoming obstacles, adapting to challenges, and achieving what others deemed impossible. This confidence is quiet yet undeniable. It does not boast or demand attention, but it radiates through actions, results, and presence. The comeback is a living testament to the power of resilience, preparation, and deliberate effort. A true comeback inspires others, even while it demonstrates personal triumph. Witnessing someone turn adversity into achievement teaches the value of patience, strategy, and perseverance. It shows that pain does not define destiny, that betrayal does not determine worth, and that underestimation is never permanent. Those who rise after being underestimated serve as examples of strength, intelligence, and the potential within every person to transform challenges into opportunity. Finally, a comeback is transformative not only in outcomes but in identity. The person who turns pain into power is not the same as the one who endured it. Each obstacle conquered, each lesson learned, and each moment of growth reshapes character, perspective, and capability. The comeback is proof that strength is not measured by the avoidance of suffering but by the ability to harness